Hi friends and my dear students. So in this video I am going to explain about properties of square numbers. Okay. So in the previous session we discussed about definition of square and what do you mean by perfect square and 1 to 20 square numbers and so few examples. So now we are going to discuss about properties of square numbers. So the property number 1, a natural number having 2, 3, 7 or 8 at the ones place is never a perfect square. So once again, a natural number having 2, 3, 7 or 8 at the ones place is never a perfect square. Okay, so for example, so 32 is there. So any number ending at ones place 2 is going to be a never perfect square. So one more thing, 73. So any number ending with 3 at ones place is never be a perfect square. Then one more thing, so 47. So any number ending with so 7 at ones place is not going to be a perfect square. And one more thing, suppose so 118. So any number ending with 8 at units place is also not going to be a perfect square. So these are the few examples. Okay, so we can write many numbers. So what are the numbers which are having in its units place either 2 or 3 or 7 or 8? So these numbers are not going to be a perfect squares. Then, so coming to second property, a natural number having 0, 1, 4, 5, 6 or 9 at the ones place may or may not be a perfect square. So once again I am repeating, a natural number having 0, 1, 4, 5, 6 or 9 at the ones place may or may not be a perfect square. So for example, so sometimes it is going to be a perfect square. So if I write 100, so this is a perfect square. So if I write 81, this is a perfect square. If I write 64, this is a perfect square. So if I write 36, this is a perfect square. So if I write 49, so this is also a perfect square. So here 10 square 100, 9 square 81, 8 square 64, 6 square 36, 7 square 49. So these are the examples for so which are going to be a perfect squares. Okay, so sometimes these are not perfect squares. So if you write example, suppose the number ending with 0, 50. So this is not going to be a perfect square. Okay, so 131. So this is not a perfect square. The number ending with 1 its units place. And 54. So the number ending with 4 at units place. So this is not a perfect square. And 65. So this is not a perfect square. So the number ending with 5 at units place. And 76. The number ending with 6 at units place. So this is not a perfect square. And finally 109. So the number ending with 9. So this is also not going to be a perfect square. Okay now. So in the same way we are going to have few more properties. So we will continue the session. So we are going to discuss about the property number 3. Right. A number ending with odd number of zeros is never a perfect square. Once again, a number ending with odd number of zeros is never a perfect square. So that means, suppose, 50 is there. So here only one zero. So that is odd number. So 1000 is there. Here 3 zeros. That is 3. So odd number. So right. So 5 lakhs is there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 zeros. So this is also odd number of zeros. Okay. So 50,000 and so 5 lakhs. So these are the numbers having odd number of zeros. So such kind of numbers is not going to be a perfect squares. Okay. So such kind of numbers is not going to be a perfect squares. So sometimes the numbers having even number of zeros is perfect squares. So for example, so if I take 100, there are 2 zeros, that is even number of zeros. So this is a perfect square. So then 400, so here also 2 zeros. So this is also perfect square, that means 20 square. And so 10,000. So this is also square of 100. Okay, now 100 square means 10,000. So 4 zeros, even number of zeros. So these are perfect squares. So while coming to even number of zeros, so 200. So this is not a perfect square. And 500. This is not a perfect square. Okay, now. So the numbers ending with odd number of zeros is not a perfect square. Sometimes the numbers ending with even number of zeros may be or may not be a perfect squares. Okay, now. So this is the property number 3. Now let us discuss property number 4. The square of an odd even number is always odd even. So that means, for example, if I take square of odd number, suppose 3, 5, 7 are odd numbers. So the square of 3, that means 3 square. So 3 square is 9. The square of 5, that is 5 square. So 5 square is 25. So 7 square is 49. So if you observe, 3 is an odd number, the square value of 3, 9 is also an odd number. 5 is an odd number, the square value of 5, that is 25, is also an odd number. So 7 is an odd number, the square value of 7, so 49, is also an odd number. So if you observe the even numbers, so what are the even numbers? 4, 6 and 8. So the square value of 4, so that is 16. The square value of 6, so that is 36. The square value of 8, so that is 64. So if you observe, 4 is an even number, the square value 16 is also an even number. 6 is an even number and the square value of 16, 36, also an even number. So 8 is an even number, the square value of 8 is also an even number. So this is the property number 4. The square of an odd or even number is always odd number and even number. That means square of odd number is always odd number, square of even number is always even number. And so we are going to discuss the property number 5. Now we'll discuss about property number 5. Factor of every square number can be grouped in pairs of equal numbers. So once again I am repeating, factors of every square number can be grouped in pairs of equal numbers. For example, so 36 is a square number. Okay, so if you write factors of 36, so 2 18s are, so 2 9s are, 3 3s are, okay, so 2 2s are 4, 4 3s are 12, 12 3s are 36. So if you observe the factors of 36, so 2 and 2, this is one pair, 3 and 3, this is another pair. So that means if you factorize the perfect square number, so that is definitely is going to be a pairs of factors. Okay now, so each factor should be a pair. So that is the example for factors of every square number can be grouped in pair of equal numbers. So if you observe one more example, so suppose 64, so 2 32s are, so 2 16s are, then 2 8s are, 2 4s are, 2 2s are. So if you observe, so 2 2s are 4, 4 2s are 8, 8 2s are 16, 16 2s are 32, 32 2s are 64. So these are the factors of perfect square number 64. So if you observe all the factors, 1 pair, 2 pairs and 3 pairs. So 2 and 2, this is one pair. So again 2 and 2, this is second pair. So again 2 and 2, so this is a third pair. So what do you mean? So factors of perfect squares always be a group of pairs. So this is the property number 5. So then property number 6. Square of a proper fraction is less than that proper fraction. Square of a proper fraction is always less than that proper fraction. So for example, if I take 2 by 3, so if I find the square of this 2 by 3, so what is the value? So that is going to be 4 and 9. So here 4 by 9 value is always less than the 2 by 3 value. 2 by 3 value. If you convert 4 by 9 into decimal, if you convert 2 by 3 into decimal, so 4 by 9 value is less than the 2 by 3 value. So square of a proper fraction is less than that proper fraction. Okay, suppose if you write square of improper fraction, so that is 3 by 2. So if you find the square of 3 by 2, so this is so 9 by 4. So here 3 by 2 value almost 1.5. So but 9 by 4 value, that is 2.2 something. Okay now. So that means what? The square of an improper fraction value is always greater than the given fraction value. So this is property number 4. So what do you mean? Square of a proper fraction value is always less than the proper fraction value. Then square of an improper fraction value is always greater than the given fraction value. Then let us go for 7th property. Square of a decimal fraction with less than 1 is the smaller than the decimal. Suppose if I take 0.5, 0.5. So this is the decimal fraction which is less than 1. So if I find the square value of 0.5, so that is going to be 0.25. So if you observe units place, here it is 5, here it is 2. So that means the square value 0.25 is always less than the given value. So if you observe greater than 1 value, so that is 1.2, that is greater than 1. So if you find the square of 1.2, so that is 1.44. 1.44. So if you observe, so the decimal values, it is 2 and this is 4. So this is the greater value. So that means the decimal fractions which are greater than 1, if you find the square value of the decimal fraction, so that is going to be a greater value. Okay now. So still few more properties there. So we are going to discuss. Okay now. Now we will discuss with 8th property. In that first one, square of a number ending with 1 or 9 ends with 1. In square of a number ending with 1 or 9 ends with 1. For example, 11, the number ending with 1, its square is 121. So its square value is also ending with 1. So 19 square, the number ending with 9, so its square value is 361, that is ending with 1. Then second top point, a square of a number ending with 2 or 8 ends with 4. Ends with 4. So example, so 12 square, the number ending with 2, so the value is 4. So the square ending with 2, its square value ending with 4. Then 8 square, the number ending with 8, so its value is 64. It is ending with 4. A square of a number ending with 3 or 7 ends with 9. So for example, so 13 square, the number ending with 3, so its square value is 169. That is ending with 9. So then 17 square or 7 square, so 7 square is 49. So the number is ending with 9. So a square of a number ending with 4 or 6. Suppose 14 square. So what is 14 square? 196. So that is ending with 6. And so 16 square. So that is 256. So that is also ending with 6. A square of a number ending with 5 is ends with 5. So example, so 25 square. So that is 625 ending with 5. So a square of a number ending with 0 ends with even number of zeros. So you can observe many examples here. So square of a number ending with even number of zeros. So even number of zeros. Suppose 10 square. 10 is ending with 0. So its square is 100. So here even number of zeros. Then 20 square. So that is 400. Here 20 is ending with 0. So its square value is ending with even number of zeros. Suppose 100 square. So 2 zeros. So its square value is 10,000 ending with even number of zeros. So these are the examples for a square of a number ending with 0 ends with even number of zeros. This is the example for so the 6th point of 8th property. So what are the properties? Once again recall. So, eighth property, a square of a number ending with 1 or 9 ends with 1. Okay, right. So, a square of a number ending with 2 or 8 ends with 4. A square of a number ending with 3 or 7 ends with 9. A square of a number ending with 4 or 6 ends with 6. A square of a number ending with 5 ends with 5. So, a square of a number ending with 0 ends with even number of zeros. So, 0 తోని ఎండ్ అయ్యే ప్రతి నంబర్ కూడా ఈవెన్ నెంబర్ ఆఫ్ జీరోస్తో ఎండ్ అవుతుంది. సో దీస్ ఆర్ ద ఆల్ ప్రాపర్టీస్ ఆఫ్ స్క్వేర్ నంబర్స్. So in the next video, so we will discuss about some model problems and exercise problems. So until, so keep watch my videos and so get good information, and don't forget to write all the classworks. So this is very useful for your future reference. So see you in the next video. Bye children. Bye my dear friends.